we pass those challenges on to our kids without ever figuring out for ourselves what are our issues. Lack of financial planning, lack of good money management, not achieving the fullest
media and film, and give them opportunities to work in the industry early so that they can understand film etiquette, production, design. And it is important that that is the legacy you leave versus leaving them luggage where they have to figure out what it is they're doing. I'm born in Africa. My parents were like, what do you mean you want to do stand-up? Sit down. So very early, it was like, you can't do that. Be a doctor, engineer, lawyer. I was talented. I was gifted. I could sing, rap, dance. And so giving back and legacy is making sure that a lot of young people that I come across don't have to go through what I went through.
Yeah, give her a hand, yeah. And Dr. Stephen Akintayo, whom I just met a few months ago through Dr. Chichi, who's a publicist and has done a lot of things to help us out to get the word out. And so, Dr. Stephen Akintayo, tell us a little bit. Matter of fact, we probably you all saw the movie, right? So, tell us a little bit about why this particular subject is important to you.
So my story was, I was born in the northern part of Nigeria, and well, the place that Trump wants to bomb. Are you aware? You guys you're not aware. Okay, Trump's about to bomb Nigeria. And so I grew up with so much poverty. No running water, no electricity. My mother was a civil servant. My father's business had collapsed before I was born. But I made up my mind that I'm going to change the story. I cannot pass on this legacy to my children. It's not going to happen. And so I read the book, my first money book at the age of 17, called Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Started my first business at the age of 18, and 20-something years later, we're in 4 continents of the world. So that's my story.
Thank you. Thank you. Desmond Brown, who's been responsible for managing
20 plus years of federal government contracting experience. So when Mr. President came to me and asked me about this panel, the first thing I thought about was that we focus too much on aspiration and not architecture, being an architect. Because how can you pass down something you've never designed? So that was my whole thought process when I came here. And I was thinking about, hip hop is very influential in Baltimore, like a lot of other places. When I was thinking about it, I thought about Kanye, and he had this song about, we got suits and cases, rental cars from Avis, but where are we going? Where are we going? So I think it's a mindset shift that we have to take now. Because if you look at what's happening right now, nobody's coming to save us. So I think we're at a point right now where we have to create this ecosystem where, I'm not sure if this is the correct word, but a symbiotic relationship between our community, money, and where it circulates within our community.
Yeah, wow, yes. Katie, so much is happening in the music industry. There are some pockets of artists who get the business side of it, others that don't. I firmly, and I think music and film and arts have to play a major part, the images that we see. And we've talked a little bit about this. What are some of the projects and the things that's coming your way, some of the aspirations that I know we talked about? What are some of those things that you think will help to aid this movement of rebranding Black?
Well, in my book, Fear, I talk about, well, here's the reality. The reality is that right now we are in a state of uncertainty. Right?
Yes.
You see so many people dealing with anxiety, people dealing with just so much uncertainty, not knowing what tomorrow may bring. People don't know what the next couple of minutes will bring. But here's the reality. At some point, we have to come back around. You say you want to rebrand Black, right? The first step, you got to remember who we are. And in the space that we in, some kind of way, we've forgotten who we are. Have we ever had any type of certainty in America?
No.
Has anything ever been laid out for us?
No.
Some kind of way I feel that we've forgotten that for so many years, we had to figure it out on our own. Right? And to figure stuff out on your own means that you have to look around you and see what's around you, lean on your community and the resources around you, like myself. I was on a record label. I lost my record deal. No one came to save me. I made a decision to save myself because I wanted to do something different than what people was expecting my outcome to be. So how did I do that? I looked at myself. I said, what do you have inside you? I said, well, like Les Brown, I have a story. I have something that I can give to somebody else, and somebody can benefit from that. When you talk about changing the brand of black, one of the things that we have to do is not be afraid to open up and share our stories.
Yes.
Because the story is what gives us power to empower other people. How many times we hear this all the time? I'm the black sheep of the family. Well, guess what? If you're the black sheep of the family, maybe it's time for you to start talking so that the people in your family, not just your blood family, and our community and our black family and our culture can be inspired and empowered by your story.
Yeah.
We are in a space where people are keeping all of the wisdom to themselves. It's one thing to hear information on Instagram, but it's another thing to actually get real information from somebody that's close to you. I tell people, if we want to change the world, we got to change the world around us. That could be one person at a time. So if you want to rebrand black, the first thing that we have to do is not be afraid to face the reality of who we are and what our stories are, and not run away from our stories, because our stories have power.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So number one in rebranding black is to own your story.
Yes.
Start with owning your story. And the way that I synthesize that is changing the story at some level. Changing the narrative that's been forced on us.
And that's why we need people like us.
Yeah.
Somebody like me and a brother on the other end that's from Baltimore. You two amazing people who started out in humble beginnings and built something. There's so many great stories, right? We look at Instagram, I'm going back to this. But we're allowing them to create those narratives and promote that because we don't have enough people. We don't have enough platforms. Everybody's jumping into creating platforms. You got all of these different reality shows and all of these different things being created. But what if we create something that shows the positive side of our communities?
Yes.
We got to understand that propaganda is real. So we are doing amazing. I grew up in the inner cities of East Baltimore. My father went to prison when I was little. Me and my sister, who's actually there and sitting out there, we did not grow up with money inherited or anything to ourselves, right? But if this story, if I'm not on this stage, if I'm not being heard, no one knows. The problem is not if things are getting better, it's what's being put out there, even if things are getting better.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Akintayo, you're from the continent, motherland, and what's the biggest difference that you've realized in how black people think about legacy? Are they thinking about it in terms of just leaving money? Are they thinking about it in terms of leaving land and property? Or is it an idea, right? A standard of living. Dr. George calls it exceptionalism, right? What differences do you see in how these two people who come from the same place view and behave as it relates to legacy?
Powerful. One of Dr. Frazier's quotes that I love says that a lot of us would rather have $100 in a $5 bag than have $5,000 in a $100 bag. So we are obsessed and consumed about the perception than the reality. We often don't want to do the hard work. I often say this, I say, one of the major things I've realized with people of color and minorities that we are hardworking, we're talented. But to be honest, we're mentally lazy, right? Sometimes you see people say, I don't want to stress myself. But that's where the money is. You need to do the mental work if you're going to be wealthy. You need to think about the problems, you need to think about a solution, you need to monetize it. And oftentimes also another aspect of what is hurting our legacy is that we're always looking for who will give us something for free. I just want to get it, just give it to me, right? But we need anything of value comes with a cost. You have to be willing to pay for the value that you desire. Sometimes it's money, sometimes it's service, but we need to take this conversation really serious. So why are we not owning properties? Right? Why are we not buying lands? You know, if you go to Canada, the Indians, the Chinese own most of the land. Right now, even here in America, you'll be shocked how much land, strategic lands are owned by Chinese.
Yes, they are. Yes.
Right? But you and I, how much land do we own? The problem is that land is not sexy. Come on. It's not a Rolls-Royce Colonel. It's not a Bugatti, right? It's not a gold chain. So we need something that gives us a perception of wealth rather than actually doing the real work of owning. Ownership is the only way to pass on legacy.
Thank you.
I often say this, that one of the things I love about real estate is that it does 4 things for you. Real estate will help you to make money. Real estate will help you to manage money. Real estate will help you to multiply money. But the one I love the most, real estate is legacy, because it helps you to transfer that wealth to the next generation.
Yeah.
What a pause.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Brother Desmond, did y'all really get that? Yeah. So, one more thing about this. I think the number was about 310,000 African American women lost their contracts
Yes.
due to the DEI.
Yes.
I think this is a tragedy, but also an opportunity. And let me tell you why, and then I want Chuchi to come in on this right after you comment. But I believe, like Dr. George, that family is extremely important. That there is a crisis with the black family. I think part of the crisis is that we were divided and conquered. What I mean by that is we have 2 businesses, 2 ideas, 2 rules, 2 houses, 2 cars, 2 churches. We have 2 of everything, as opposed to 1 of everything. Does that make sense? So I think at some level, these women who are extremely educated now have the capability to actually run, manage, maintain family businesses like never before. So they're well educated, well experienced, and they know the landscape. Now you may have a husband who know how to cut grass and mow the lawn. Y'all could be doing that for the whole entire neighborhood, therefore the whole entire community at a certain point. So I think that there are opportunities there. So tell me, what do you feel about that notion?
Well, I mean, I tell small business owners that you need to diversify your portfolio. So you can't obviously you can't rely on federal government contracts like you used to.
Yeah.
So we need to start looking at local and state, and we need to start thinking globally. I just came back with a business delegation from Prince George's County, and we went over to Korea. to see if we can match Korean-owned businesses with businesses that are in the county, Prince George's County. And it's been very successful. I mean, so I think that we need to start thinking outside of the US, and we need to start looking at, as Gary Vee said, Africa is the next hot spot, but it's always been hot. I mean, so we need to start building relationships now over there. It doesn't take Gary Vee to tell us this. I mean, so, but if they recognize it, then maybe we should take note of it. And then maybe we should start building those relationships in Ghana and Nigeria and Senegal. And Kenya has like the highest artificial intelligence virtual assistants, according to 60 Minutes, in the world. I mean, so we need to start partnering with these countries, man. Make the offer. If we don't make the offer, the answer is no. So you gotta make the offer.
Three things I want to add to that, since I'm supposed to take that questions. First, Matthew 5, and go read the whole chapter, but what stands out is, let your light so shine that the world will see and glorify God. So, women who are in this situation who actually have, no more funding, can look within, like he mentioned, what they can do at home and how they can build a legacy, but that's one. Secondly, this year, a delegation went to Cameroon, and one of the things I did as a PR is raise funds, and we went and met the Minister of Housing and Development, looking for businesses to come in. They're looking to give land. They're looking to give opportunities. They need recycling plants. They don't have recycling, so they burn trash on the side of the street in certain places with you and plan with you on what you can do in a foreign country like that. Because one of the things Dr. Akintayo does is build all over the world, Dubai, everywhere. So not just America. But one of the things I love about his work, when I first met him, he went to Essence. He said, I want to connect with black people here. And he saw so many black women standing at Essence Festival, selling their products. Black women and men, but I want to say more women, selling candles, creams, lotion, shea butter stuff. That's the second part. So, like he mentioned, outside of the country. Finally, investing in our children. The big thing is, a lot of us are like telling our children to go to work, get a job. Well, we know what happened in COVID. So we need to start doing family business with the children. And looking at the potential, what does the child like to do, and how can I grow that into a business for them while I'm working mine and connecting mine, and they can help me with mine, and I can help them with theirs. Those are the three things that I think women can do at this time when they can't work, like they want to, but can interject their skills overseas. Proverbs 31 women, she bought land from afar, so it doesn't have to be in your neighborhood. Travel somewhere, go. There are people here that are taking tours to Ghana, Cameroon. I'm going back to Cameroon next year, and I'm looking for business. Someone wants to build a winery and bed and breakfast in Cameroon, and they're looking for people who would come in and work the business, run it, be a part of it, develop it. And there's money in developing our skills and our talents in these foreign countries, in our children and in our families.
Okay, that was beautiful. How many of us have done our ancestral DNA test? Can I see your hands up? Please, you need to go do it. Intentionally I dress this way because where you come from, your royalty. And I think this is part of the problem, because if you don't see yourself as a king, as a queen, then you're not going to invest like that. Who are those who pass on legacies? Come on, talk to me.
Kings and queens.
Kings and queens. So it starts with reimagining who you really are. When you do that, then you begin to behave it. Then you begin to act it. And I can tell you for free, we can't wait to have you in Africa.
That's right.
I have helped many people come. Yes, you can clap for that. Right? We want to give you an African name. I've helped a lot of African Americans to get an African name. You want to get an African passport. If you trace you're from Nigeria, we will get you a Nigerian passport. You want to think of investing back home. Enough of just playing victim. Oh, they don't like us here in America. But we want you back home. That's really who you are. right? If you don't develop Africa, nobody will. And we can't wait to receive you home. How many of you have heard of Dirty December? Please, do some research. I would love to host as many of you want to come to Lagos for Dirty December in Nigeria. Thank you.
And I just want to say shout out to Baltimore. My student shot her first film, and we did a movie premiere of her first film in Baltimore 2 weeks ago. So I was there as the MC. It was amazing. Packed house. She's a young student, lives in Baltimore. Made her first film about her story, domestic abuse.
You're
Thank you so
definitely
much.
a PR person. She's definitely a PR person. That was a plug just now.
Magnificent. Thank you. Delano mentioned marriage. The 5 pillars for the intergenerational transfer of wealth are the following. First and foremost is marriage or family. There is no culture in the history of humankind that has risen to maximize their full human potential without family at the center of that culture. The only place that does not exist in the diaspora is in the United States of America. Marriage rate right now at 23%. Divorce rate is greater than 75%. 71% of our women are not married and 29% will never get married. Facts and statistics. 66% of black men are not married and 34% of them decided they will never get married. It is exacerbated by 2 devastating statistics that have been around for 25 years. 72% of our children are born out of wedlock, and 80% of our children are raised in a single-parent household. That is an existential crisis. That is the number 1 problem. Now, let me expand on why marriage is so important. The marriage gap equals a wealth gap.
Come on.
Now, new study, not my opinion, new study. A black female living alone, her monthly household budget is $3,441. A single black male monthly budget is $2,875. A black couple monthly budget is $3,666. That means there is a monthly gap between a brother living alone, a woman living alone, and a couple living together on a monthly basis. It is a $2,650 gap per month. Now, let's look at that long term. Marriage for 10 years will save you or earn you an extra $318,000 if you're just married and you close that gap between you living alone and your man living alone. If you look at 20 years, that's $636,000. If you look at 40 years, that's $1.3 million. If you look at 50 years, I'm 52 years in, that's $1,590,000. Now, what do you do with that money? Well, you buy a home. You can invest in a business. You can invest in the market, increase the growth of that money. So marriage is huge because it's the cornerstone of family, which is a must. Without it, we cannot get where we're going. Do you understand that? No culture has gotten where they're going without family at the center of the culture. That is an existential crisis. Now, what did Dr. Fraser do? He went to AI and he asked AI to predict what will based on facts, statistics, and trends, what will the marriage rate be within 2 generations among black people. Here's what AI said, not Dr. Fraser. Based on facts, statistics, and trends, the marriage rate in our culture within 40 years will be less than 10%. Wow. Now, this is the big one. I asked, what will be the mixed marriage rate at under 10%? It projected black men who are married 40 years from now, 45% of them will be married to white women. And black women, in 2 generations, 30% of them will be married to white men. So that means 75% of us, based on facts, statistics, and trends generated by AI, 75% will be in mixed marriage. So let me say this and still be, I'm telling you, if nothing changes, in 75 years, you won't know who to call a nigga. The black family is critical. It is the foundation for all things. And my brother, I want to say this to you about Africa. We cannot get where we're going without you. And you cannot get where you're going without us. Those are the 2 big factors. Because the continent, been there 31 times, spoken the Linus. That is the biggest gift we have. It's the land that you're on. That needs unity, unification. Get those other folks out of there. Do your thing with the most important body of minerals in the world. God was not a fool. In terms of natural minerals, you are the richest on the planet. So we have everything we need to succeed, brothers and sisters, except each other. Jews have each other. East Indians have each other. Asians have each other. They have high family numbers. That's the project we must be working on for the next 2 generations. It's an existential crisis. I'm not plugging my book, but I am. Yes, next year. I've been studying this for 3.5 years. And the title of the book will be The Exit. You figure that out. Bottom line, we need a lot of us doing a little instead of a few of us doing a lot. That's all I wanted to say.
I think that we have to use every arsenal we have to change the mindset. I think our cognitive, we have to have a massive cognitive revamping of how we believe about ourselves. But it's only going to start with what we ingest through our eyes and through our ears. That means media would play a big role in this. I believe, as a people, we should have every single music artist, every artist, just like Denzel said, I would never play a certain character. Just like Stevie Wonder said, I will never sing a certain specific song. Just like everyone who's made that commitment not to portray us in buffoonery ways, they made that decision. We need movies that talk about Mansa Musa. We need movies that talk about Cleopatra. We need these movies. We need these visual clues that can help paint a picture of reality. Yeah. So I'm going to give you guys 1 minute to give me your solution on how we can not leave luggage, but leave a legacy. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
What do you want your name to mean when you're gone? Number 2, you need to audit your circle. You know, take an inventory of your friends that are investing in you versus the ones that are draining you. And cut the ones that are draining you. Number 3, build one bridge, not a wall. I think that's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
I mean, and number 4, create a legacy fund. I mean, $20 a month. I mean, first of all, we spend about $55 in brunch on Sundays. Just imagine if we skip one Sunday and put that $55 into an account or a CD or whatever you want to do with it. So that would be my thing. And then the last piece I want to live is that we imitate what we see. And John Hope Bryant was on this stage yesterday, and we have to look no further than across the street to see his legacy. And so what's stopping all of us, we come from the same cut, what's stopping us from being able to do the exact same thing?
Great, great. Let's give him a hand. Come on. Desmond Brown.
From my end, I would say, first of all, we need to focus on ownership. We need to think of owning things. How do I own my business? How do I own my asset? Oftentimes, even in business, if I ask you between being a real estate investor or being a real estate broker, which one do you want to go for? Everybody says, I want to be a broker. Right? But why are we scared to even think of investing? Why are we scared to come together? In this room is potentially $1 billion. In this room. If we all come together, we can all own real estate asset worth $1 billion. Everybody here. Right? But we oftentimes want to walk alone. I have a book, and I have a gift for you guys. I hope they can pull it up. I did a book called Global Real Estate Investment. It's on how you can invest in Middle East, Africa, Europe, here in America. You know, as an investor and as a developer. It goes for $20 on Amazon, but I'm giving everybody free, so you can just scan the QR code. I hope we can pull it up. And that's the end of it. I think we all also need to think of how do we hold each other's hands, right? Just like he's doing, Dr. Frazier is doing, we must hold each other's hand. Because in my country, we have an adage that says, a one-eye a blind person, right, is the leader of the team. But if you lead, that's only if everybody is blind. So we need to move, all of us, 2 eyes open. And we have to hold each other and say, hey, if you're going to be in my circle, you better step up the game. If you don't step up, I keep going up and I can't stay around you anymore.
Yeah. Chichi.
3 things. Be a person. Chase him, chase to know, chase for the, because you're led by the Spirit. I heard the interview Dr. Fraser had today, and he said the Spirit, you're a spiritual being. So the direction where you're going to go is as a result of the fruit of the Spirit that's leading you to where you need to go. So that's the first thing that I would leave with you today. The second thing is connect with a mentor. I remember investing $5,000 in a coach in 2020 that taught me I can get $15 million free using the 181 to make films. So now I teach that in my school, and some students find it hard to pay for class, but how do you not pay for knowledge that will change your life forever? So connect with a mentor, invest in your mentor, ask for help. And then finally, read. Read books, get knowledge. Keep getting knowledge. That's what I would leave today.
All right. KD.
There has to be a sense of urgency. If I would say the one main thing, we have to value events like this.
Yeah.
Delano, you, Dr. Frazier, you guys put this together, your team. I just want to take this right here to throw this back at you. Because someone has to be willing to take risks. Someone has to be willing to jump out and create platforms and put us all in a room. And when we get in the room, we have to, in our mind, this has to be a sense of urgency for our community. We're not just here to look good, just to network. We're here, for some of us, this event is a life changer. For some people, this event is that one piece of relationship that you need to further your business. to grow, to better your family, to create a new roadmap for your family. So we have to take these kinds of events as a sense of urgency. You know, if you're not feeling well and you're sick, you're not just going to sit home and suffer. If you get a fever, you're going to run to the ER, you're going to run to the hospital. I find a lot of times that when we get in environments like this, we're too laid back. You need to network with people, get up, tell people your story, shake hands, give some hugs, talk to people, and communicate. Those are the things that will help create change and move us further. And listen, after we get off this stage, I'm here. If you want to come to the side and talk to me or meet or network, anything I can help you do, I'm here. But I think that we need to place a real value on these opportunities that we have when we're in the room together.
All right. Finally, I want to close with this. And I would say that there's nothing wrong with living on an island. I grew up on one. Remember always to build bridges, airports, and docks. You will always have things coming in and the ability to have things going out. My name is Delano Johnson. This is an amazing group of people. Y'all give them a great big round of applause. Thank you so much. So, Dr. Stephen has his book, Billionaire Codes. So you want to grab this. He has it actually outside. So you want to go ahead and make sure to get a copy of this. All right? There we go. You want to give this one away? All right, here we go. She's up here at the first time. There we go.